One of the things we have been observing is the institutional-grade adoption of cryptocurrency growing to astronomical heights. Undoubtedly, the approval of the Bitcoin ETF was one of the major events of this year, and I believe we have already discussed it. We've taken care of it. While it may be beneficial in the long run, its effectiveness in the near term is debatable. The markets were somewhat manipulated, and Grayscale saw a significant sell-off, but they are now heating up once more. Furthermore, I think that we need to get ready because I think we are at a critical juncture in this cycle, and the reason I say that is because Bitcoin is almost here. After the Bitcoin crash, we need to focus. If we follow history, that is when the market will blow up. However, there is a chance that we won't make it 100% of the time, in which case we must be extremely cautious and vigilant. One thing we have been observing as we watch the inflows into these ETFs, particularly BlackRock's, is that we actually have those BlackRock's here. The 2024 Fidelity Spot ETF also achieved a rating in the top 10 of the fund inflow thus far this year, with the Bitcoin ETF INFL rising to the 5th highest among all ETFs. A couple of days have gone since February 6th, and some of the numbers are visible here. I do have some updated ones that we will discuss as well, although the BlackRock's share was released just 17 days ago. Based on inflows, the Bitcoin Trust has risen to the 5th position among exchange-traded funds for 2024. However, the only funds to surpass $3.2 billion in annual inflows are Vanguard, which offers exposure to the S&P 500 index, and Mammoth's long-standing index ETFs from shares. Alternatively, the entire stock market ranks first with $113 billion in inflows. I have shared the basic S&P 500 ETF so far this year, and it has an incredible $428 billion in assets under management. The Vanguard 500 Index Fund, which now has around $398 billion in assets under management, is ranked number 2 with inflows of $11.1 billion. I wonder if the IBIT ETF will surpass these and take the top spot with the most inflows. Since we are looking at where we are, listen, I would not take it away. I end this cycle. I think there's going to be a major spotlight on Bitcoin soon. Why are you currently investing heavily in Bitcoin? The reason for this is money flows and liquidity. Pay attention, money and liquidity typically enter Bitcoin initially before moving down the chain. This is Bitcoin, often known as BlackRock. We were starting to see a lot of this volume coming in while Bitcoin was basically ranging laterally. It wasn't really doing anything. ETF's $1 billion daily volume means for Bitcoin, things are beginning to improve as of late. Somewhat, as this is once again an institutional requirement. Trade demand is like this, all of this is cash. We're starting to see a lot of marketing kicking up around these Bitcoin ETFs, and guys, this is not cheap. Inflows we also have over here. BlackRock, Van E, and Franklin Templeton compete to promote Bitcoin ETFs on Google AdWords as well. Running advertisements is not cheap, therefore, they are losing money. And this tendency will only get bigger in the future. Technically, based on where we are in the cycle, things should look very interesting. However, at the same time that I mentioned this, I'm seeing people pass up a lot of excellent opportunities because they're not doing what they want, and we're getting close to having, since we are now above 40,000, Bitcoin has been fluctuating. Some cryptocurrencies are also rising sharply, but since the cycle is still young, the majority of them will probably be shaken out of strong plays. It stinks to see. But this is the reason I always stress that not everyone will make it at this point. I went back a little bit to February 5th, when I mentioned that I had watched at the exact same time that I did publish this. Many altcoins benefit well from lows. The FUD piled up Link, LCX, and shortly XRP Horror Casper AZ are excellent examples of this. Nevertheless, many other altcoins avoid falling into the trap of the retail FUD machine, and now we have June 17th, which I have saved to revisit at a later time. There are a lot of funny links out there. Among the best was this one. Prior to the major relocation in the DeFi summer of 2020, the price of the movers was $4. Today, it is $50. The connection is worth $526 now that it has lately dropped to $5. I've bookmarked this tweet so I can revisit it. Go in the future, and we really have a link to the lows right here. This is around when I tweeted that there was 288% of this candle wick left. This is the reason why retail keeps losing ground, as, once again, there is a ton of fucking false information at these low points. I simply wanted to let you guys know that a respectable wallet is having a deal for all XRP holders before we move on. Those of you who are interested in receiving some free XRP can do so by buying a good wallet using the link I've provided in the explanation below and in the comments section below. After that, you'll receive 24 free XRP, which is also given to you automatically. Enter to get 2024 XRP, which will be revealed on May 11. To access this page, simply visit their website after completing a purchase and click the Wishing for a Radiant 2024 with XRP top link located at the top of the page, and all you have to do is submit their form to be entered automatically. To receive 2024 XRP. Since this is only happening for a short while, if you guys want to go look it over, links will be included. After reading the explanation below and the comments below, let's get back to business. So LCXX is also one more. Is that correct? Guys, I created a film that you may watch at the bottom. We were trading at roughly 4 cents at the end of October. This is about 10 times as many cents as we did. Horrible lows, but there were also a ton of nice men. They claimed that the squad was ditching LCX since so many people on LCX, ship jumping has not been done. It's a rug. Nothing is dead. It's done. IT is this and that. So much fun, people. We went on to achieve a huge 783% run-up, and in my opinion, this will surpass the lows by a factor of 10. Been the one I've been observing lately. Am I displaying the link here? I'm bringing up LCX because everyone believes XRP is no longer viable. Given how early in the upcoming cycle we are and how popular ETFs are, a significant amount of money is going into that, will eventually filter down the list of altcoins, and I firmly think that XRP will be among those major winners that sees a massive influx of capital into it. I also think that everyone who is disregarding or undervaluing XRP is doing so for a simple reason: they will lose a lot because of the price action. But one thing I've been keeping an eye on in the weekly chart is our breakout over the 200 EMA, which is this blue line at roughly 52 cents. We will begin aiming for some of those higher EMAs once we break through this, but if you go back in time, you can see that we had a noteworthy close when we broke through the 200 weekly EMA. We usually have a big run-up to the upside, so I think we'll know we're ready to break out if we overcome this and retake all of the EMAs above around 57 cents or almost 58 cents and retest some of those peaks around 92 cents. After we retest, if we can get a close and a break over 92 cents, we will see another test of those 20 to 21 highs. But I think XRP is about to make a big move in the market. I think it's been building for a long time, and the dust has been piling up. The criticism has been mounting for some time. A significant number of people have abandoned XRP at a time when I believe it is abhorrent that they do so because, as I like to say, FUD. Usually at all-time highs, which is the ideal moment to start building, and I think XRP will really surprise those who are sitting there with a negative outlook and are really bearish. Observing the graph and concluding that XRP is not performing. XRP is this, XRP is that, and I believe they will be taken by surprise. When XRP actually begins to move, as well as when we properly examine the inflows, the top 25 ETFs by assets after 1 month on the market, out of 5,535 total debuts in 30 stinking years, are actually shown here. It's 30 years and 5,535 ETFs. The amount of money that is actually flowing into the space right now through these ETFs is why I say the institutions are going to move these bags heavy. It's going to start slow, but when it does happen, that's when you got to look out. And also over here, normally it takes 5 to 10 years for a newborn to get even close to toppling at category's liquidity. I bid a FBTC in league of their own with over $3 billion each, and they still have 2 days to go ARK Bitcoin. BitB also made the King's IBIT trade more than both Grayscale Bitcoin and Beto today in less than a month. They'll all go day, but eventually the difference will widen and you'll be able to observe some real trade going on. Activity. So there is apparently still some trading after hours, but BlackRock's BIT or IBIT appears to be the first ETF to trade more than Grayscale Bitcoin in a single day today. However, Trading was a bit of a bust today. 924 million marks the group's first day below $1 billion in total or dollar volume since its debut, but once more, as we see even at these levels, it is still quite big. But when you look at the actual Bitcoin inflows, roughly 6,000 plus Bitcoin, it's unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. How much money is actually being used by Bitcoin? Again, it's important to understand this, since it has an impact on all coins in the long run. Liquidity is improving and money is genuinely streaming in. At the moment, Bitcoin is on the 3-day chart, and I'm keeping an eye out for a big close, more than $46,500 now, the thing to actually observe the weekly candle shedding this week, which is approaching over the weekend of the Super Bowl, when most people won't be looking at or watching this. If we get a weekly candle close over some of these candle wicks back in 2022, notably a weekly candle close over 47K, this will confirm a move to $56,000, and those guys are going to be preoccupied. This will be a very important time for the market because everyone will be focused on cryptocurrencies once more. There will be a huge excitement that breaks out, and that's when we should start to be a little more cautious. However, I can already see the liquidity grab happening. Was a liquidity wick during the week of January 22nd before we began to see this significant upward run. At this point, we are closely observing the weekly candle to close the weekly. The weekly candle close will be important not only for Bitcoin but also for XRP, as I think XRP will have a nice little run-up in the market if we see a candle close above 52 cents. My words may not be very significant, but we might see a run-up to test these highs up here. After that, we essentially just look for a weekly break above this and a closing above the 66-cent zone at approximately 66. Not this week, maybe the following week, or it will take some time the following week, but after that, we essentially just look at the next location. We closed in terms of resistance at the candle body, resistance, which is roughly 75 cents. Going back to July, this is the reason we didn't see a huge spike to the upside. Instead, we struck macro resistance, which was located near 92. Nevertheless, I'm eager for the remainder of this year. It appears that the market is really bullish at the moment. Many people are simply ignoring the ETF inflows, which are really important since they're injecting capital and liquidity into the market. Eventually, this will trickle down to altcoins, Ethereum, and other similar products, so keep a careful watch on that.